Hey, just want to say what's up, everybody. Welcome to my podcast, What You Got to Say. I'm Gerard Neal, and I'll be your host for probably like the next 10 minutes or so, just to kind of give you a brief introductory of what the podcast will be about. So let's get to it. Let me tell you right up front, I'm not an authority or an expert on anything or any subject other than maybe labor unions. So don't treat me as such. You know, over the last, I would say, few years, I've sat back and I've watched how society was undergoing a dramatic change. And a lot of it, in my opinion, is not for the good. I see or hear things and I say, that ain't right. I don't believe in that or in this. I would hear something and I'd say, really? Why is it my generation speaking out against some of the nonsense and showing more support for those who are speaking out? Because they know better. I continue to watch ideals, ways, and behaviors from minority, and I'm not talking about skin color, but I continue to watch stuff being pushed down our society's throats with very little being said and with little resistance. I found myself becoming frustrated with behaviors and acceptance of behaviors and hearing over and over again, that's just how things are now. I said, yeah, okay. Now, you know, it's always puzzled me how two people with power can be stronger than 2,000 people with a bullhorn and a microphone. I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Some people are about it, and some people just want to talk about it and do nothing about it. You know, I started asking myself, and this is my opinion, why does society place more value on seeing people act a fool, getting drunk, bragging about who they slept with, on TikTok, shaking their butt, getting more likes and follows than you can imagine, cursing somebody out? Or why do they put more value on someone flashing $100 bills on social media from selling dope? Why does society not place more emphasis on a kid getting straight A's? Someone who's been sober for 20 years. A mother and a father who's working hard to provide for their family, to give them the best life possible, is because they don't live in a pristine house or they don't drive a fabulous car? Who knows? Or why doesn't society place more value on a person who's made money from working hard? And this is just my opinion again. Our values as a society has changed so much. Some of us have allowed that change to happen right under our noses. One day I was on the web and I was looking for a way to cook a certain piece of meat on the gas grill. And as I was looking through so many different people telling me how to do this and how to do that, I said to myself, you know what? That's a perfect way for me to get my thoughts and ideas out and objections to things that I hear that I don't believe in. It's through the internet. And that's when I decided I was going to do my own show and talk about some of those things that go on in society. My podcast, What You Got to Say, at times will be fact-driven, entertaining, controversial, unintended offensive, informational, opinionated, and sometimes very opinionated. I'll reference scriptures. At times I'll be funny, biased, intense, sympathetic, and with opposing points of views. And we're going to do this by having adult conversation without cussing or cursing each other out. And the most important thing to me, without fear of being canceled by the cancel culture. I'm not going to try to shame anyone into believing what I believe. And you sure won't be able to shame me into believing some of the junk that you believe. And if I happen to walk down your street, don't get mad. Just take the information for what it's worth and keep it moving. You know, my main focus, because some people have asked me, what are you going to talk about? What's going to be your platform? But my main focus 90% of the time will be human behavior in society and how that behavior influences how people act and think. I may touch on subjects like corner beggars, grieving, lies told at funerals, the real college life, the one that parents really don't get when they go on tours. Did Black lives really matter? When people die, do they really go to heaven? Snitches get stitches. Defund, far as reform the police and whatever else comes along the way. So stay tuned and let's see how things go from that point forward. By the way, I'm also going to have special guests to come on and experts, and at times that will make it a lot more interesting, and especially when they don't agree with something I've said. Before I sign off for today, so many people have offered their opinions on what I should say, what I should talk about, what I should wear, how I should approach my subjects, guests I should have on the show. Look, I appreciate everyone's desired input, but I'm going to do this the way I feel. And if I need to make changes along the way, believe me, I will. But for the most part, I'm going to be me that some of you have never heard and don't know. And I'm going to be me that some of you have heard and do know. Regardless of what is done, I know some are going to like it and some won't. Some may feel I'm talking about them when I'm speaking in general terms, but that's okay. Still love me anyway. So don't forget, every Friday, starting next Friday, November the 4th, from 7 p. to 7:30 p., my podcast, What You Got to Say, will be on youtube.com. You got to put What You Got to Say literally in the search engine and enjoy the show. And before I go, something that's put a smile on my face pretty much all day, smiling from ear to ear. A lot of you guys, you may remember Joseph Price, that played for Marion High School over in Indiana, and then went on to play for Notre Dame University, and then went overseas to play for a few years. Well, he had a daughter that was born over in France. Her name is Naomi Victoria Price. Naomi came over to the States. She went to Central State University, where her dad was coaching at that time, graduated. From there, and this is the only mistake I think she's made since she's been in the States, she had an opportunity to go to IU Law School or go to Notre Dame Law School. And unfortunately, she picked Notre Dame Law School. But hey, she graduated this year. She took her bar exam in July. And this morning at 8 o'clock, she got word that she passed her bar exam. So I just want to congratulate her on that. She'll be sworn in, I think she told me, in February or something like that. The funny thing about her is that when she had to come over here to Columbus to do her internship, she's actually stayed with our family for those couple years. And anytime she comes to town, she still stays with us when she's coming to do certain speaking engagements at Central State University. So I just want to congratulate Naomi on passing her bar exam. And as I sign off, remember, 2 ears and 1 mouth makes you a better person. Have a good one, and I'll see you guys next week.